Shalom. The phone went off. Verse 11, Genesis chapter 33, verse 11. And take the blessing which I have brought thee, which God hath given me, who giveth all things. He took it with much ado at his brother's earnest, pressing him, and said, Let us go on together, and I will accompany thee in thy journey. And Jacob said, My Lord, thou knowest that I have with me tender children, and sheep, and kin with young, which if I should cause to be overdriven one day, all the flocks will die. May it please my Lord to go before his servant, and I will follow softly after him, as I shall see my children to be able until I come to my Lord in Seir. Esau answered, I beseech thee that some of the people at least who are with me may stay to accompany thee in the way. And he said, There is no necessity. I want nothing else, but only to find favor with my Lord in thy sight. So Esau returned that day the way that he came to Seir. And Jacob came to Succoth, where having built a house and pitched tents, he called the name of the place Succoth, that is, tents. And he passed over to Salem, a city of the Sychemites, which is in the land of Canaan, after he returned from Mesopotamia to Syria. And he dwelt by the town, and he bought that part of the field in which he pitched his tents of the children of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 lambs. And raising an altar there, invoked upon the Most High God. Chapter 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, went out to see the woman of that country. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, the priest of the land, saw her, he was in love with her, and took her away and lay with her, ravishing the virgin. And his soul was fastened unto her, and whereas she was sad, he comforted her with sweet words. And going to Hamor, his father said, Get me this damsel to wife. But when Jacob had heard this, his sons being absent and employed in feeding the cattle, he held his peace till they came back. When Hamor the father of Shechem was come out to speak to Jacob, behold, his sons came from the field, and hearing what had passed, they were exceedingly angry, because he had done a foul thing in Israel, and committed an unlawful act in ravishing Jacob's daughter. And Hamor spoke to him, The soul of my son Shechem has a longing for your daughter. Give him to wife, and let us contract marriages with one another. Give us your daughters, and take you our daughters, and dwell with us. The land is at your command. Till, trade, and possess it. Shechem also said to her father and to her brethren, Let me find favor in your sight, and whatsoever you shall appoint I will give. Raise the dowry and ask gifts, and I will gladly give what you shall demand. Only give me this damsel to wife. The sons of Jacob answered Shechem and his father deceitfully, being enraged at the deflowering of their sister. We cannot do what you demand, nor give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, which with us is unlawful and abominable. But in this we may be allied with you, if you will be like us, and all male sex among you be circumcised. Then we will mutually give and take your daughters and ours. We will dwell with you, and we will be one people. But if you will not be circumcised, we will take our daughter and depart. Their offer pleased him more, and Shechem his son. And the young man made no delay, but forthwith fulfilled what was required. For he loved the damsel exceedingly, and he was the greatest man in all his father's house. And going into the gate of the city, they spoke to the people. These men are peaceable and willing to dwell with us. Let them trade in the land and till it, which being large and wide wanteth men to till it. We still shall take their daughters for wives. We shall take their daughters for wives, and we will give them ours. One thing there is first, so great a good is deferred. We must circumcise every male among us, following the manner of the nation, and their substance, the cattle, and all that they possess shall be ours. Only in this let us condescend, and by dwelling together we shall make one people. And they all agreed, and circumcised all the males. And behold, the third day, when the pain of the wound was greatest, 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, the brothers of Dinah, taking their swords, entered boldly into the city, and slew all the men. And they killed also Hamor and Shechem, and took away their sister Dinah out of the Shechem's house. And when they were gone out, the other sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and plundered the city in revenge of the rape. And they took their sheep, and their herds, and their asses, wasting all they had in their house and in the fields. And their children and wives they took captive. And when they had boldly perpetrated these things, Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me and made me hateful to the Canaanites and Perizzites, the inhabitants of this land. We are few. They will gather themselves together and kill me, and both I and my house shall be destroyed. 31. They answered, should they abuse our sister as a strumpet? 35. In the meantime, God said to Jacob, arise and go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make there an altar to God, who appeared to thee when thou didst flee from Esau thy brother. And Jacob, having called together all his household, said, cast away the strange gods that are among you, and be cleansed, and charge your garments. Arise, and let's go up to Bethel, that we may make there an altar to God, who heard me in the day of my affliction, and accompanied me in my journey. 4. So they gave him all the strange gods they had, and the earrings which were in their ears. And he buried them under the turpentine tree that is behind the city of Shechem. And when they were departed, the terror of God fell upon all the cities round about, and they durst not pursue after them as they went away. And Jacob came to Luzah, which is in the land of Canaan, surnamed Bethel, he and all the people that were with him.